Well, hello there. Today we got, oh, that makes this at least a little classy. Oh, wear the Budweiser hat. Yeah, my hair's a mess, I'm sorry. But, all I'm gonna say is buckle up. We got a good one for you today. Got another video from my old pal Benji. Now, first I wanna start off by saying a few things before I get into this. One, I wanna say something to you, Benji. I like you. I think I've said this before, but I actually do really like you, Benji. I mean, politically I disagree with you, obviously. But as a person, you're very passionate, and I can see that in your videos, and I honestly really respect that. And that is something that I actually really like about you. And honestly, as a person, you seem like a very good person. Which is the opposite of me. I'm a bad person, but, you know. I mean, obviously, I'm a filthy capitalist. Anyway. I'm sorry, that's probably grossing a lot of you out. But, yeah. I don't even know what to say. Let's see, what else? I just recorded another video, just audio, about Pride Month. Why I think it's stupid. By the way, happy Pride Month, my fellow LGBTers. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. I don't know which one's going up first, this one or that one, but you know, if it's already uploaded, go look at it. If it's not, keep an eye out for it. It's about that. See, oh, and another thing is a lot of politics channels like this, they don't use their face in the video, but you know, I like using my face. One, because it's an excuse to get dressed up, and I really like getting dressed up. Makes me feel good about myself, and it feels more personal this way. I feel like I'm actually talking to a person instead of just, you know, yelling into a microphone. You know, it just I like this more. That's what I'm here to say. Of course, my lighting is garbage as always, but hey, what can you do? Yeah. This video, Benji's newest video, uploaded, I was gonna say today, but it's, past midnight, so it's yesterday. Why Marxism Leninism is necessary. Now, I mean, if you want, you know, let's just get into this. I hope you guys can hear it. I'll leave a link to the video in the description, as always. Might need to turn it up a little. Of course, we start off with yellow text on the red background. That one's just obvious.
Hello, comrades. Today I'm going to explain what is Marxism Leninism.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Benji. This is, you know, 100% my fault. This is like a legitimate question. Who's the guy in the middle? Is that, what's his name? Marx's partner, I can't remember his name offhand. Like, obviously, the one on the left is Lenin, and the one on the right is Marx, but who's the one in the middle? Yeah. Oh, and another thing, I want to say this. I'm gonna buy copies of Communist Manifesto so I can read it. But I'm currently broke and already reading 4 other books. So, you know, when it comes around, I'll eventually read it. Because I do actually want to read it. I feel like it'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting read.
Why do we need it? Basically, Marxism Leninism is a revolutionary science. It is a science of how to turn a bourgeois state into a workers' state. Marxism Leninism is centered around the principles of dialectical materialism. This means that it is both scientific and practical, rather than bourgeois, utopian, or idealist.
Okay, here's another thing. I know you were just saying stuff here, and this is obviously a very pedantic thing to pick at. I think I'm using that word right, so obviously I'm a dumb American and I don't have a very big vocabulary, but I think I'm using pedantic right there. But, utopia was an originally more of a communist thing than a bourgeois thing. You know, I'm sorry about that.
It is through dialectical materialist analysis that Marxist-Leninists realize that capitalism has been necessary as a tool for historical progress.
I'm not gonna argue with that one. But, I'm gonna say this. A lot of the things you say against capitalism are against government and not really capitalism.
However, we do not succumb to the bourgeois notion that it has achieved anything more than what is expected for the system that replaced feudalism. It is also through dialectical materialism that Marxist-Leninists acknowledge the importance of the socialist stage and do not succumb to idealist notions of instantly establishing full communism after the revolution.
Marxism-Leninism also has the most advanced theory, as it combines Marxist economics with the Leninist analysis of imperialism. Marxism-Leninism is also tactically more advanced, as it is centered around building a vanguard party, a party to unite the proletariat, a party to unite the communist movement, a party that will lead the revolution and build communism after the revolution. The vanguard party is more advanced than simple individual acts of anti-capitalism that are in the end wasted, because under the vanguard party it is all the strength of the communist movement is united into one organization that can build revolution and build communism.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not too big into communism, so, this probably wasn't the best video for me to choose to talk about. But when you start talking about the evil capitalism, obviously I have more to say on that. Let's see. I should have wrote down timestamps.
Most other leftist movements either take from Marxism-Leninism or provide an unpractical and unscientific alternative. Now,
I'm not going to argue with that. Most leftist movements are pretty garbage.
Leninism can be applied to
pretty much all leftist movements actually are garbage.
Any material and historical conditions. Many have adapted Marxism-Leninism just as Lenin adapted Marxism, such as Mao, who adapted it so it could be applied to China and much of...
Okay. I don't even know. Now, I know you just said Mao in passing, but, I really hope you weren't referring to Mao in a good light, like, I know you like your communist leaders, but, I think we should both be on the same page on here when we say Mao was not a good person. Neither was Stalin, or, let's see, any of the other dictators. Dictators are bad. I don't care if they're communist or not. Mao was a dictator, which means he was a bad person. Hitler was a dictator and a bad person. Mussolini, Stalin, Franco, Pinochet, they're all bad. I know obviously you think I worship Pinochet, but I don't. He was still a bad person.
To the third world.
And I know you don't actually think I worship Pinochet.
Or Hoxha, who adapted it so it could be applied to Albania. These are just some of the many examples of different adaptations of Marxism-Leninism. But the point is, Marxism-Leninism is universal. It can be applied anywhere. It doesn't...
You mean Universal Sound? The Tyler Childers song? No one's gonna get that. It's not even a very... it's still a good song, but it's definitely not one of his strongest.
Rely on certain things, certain realities. It doesn't rely on particular circumstances. It adapts to the circumstances. It doesn't make the circumstances adapt to it, which is why it is so successful.
Yes, I agree.
Because
communism, or Marxism-Leninism, whatever, is very good at adapting to situations and having their citizens starve.
Can be applied anywhere, at any time, in any country.
Marxism-Leninism is the only way to defeat capitalism and establish socialism and eventually communism.
Which is something that must be done. Capitalism must be destroyed. It is...
Okay, now this is where I'm gonna actually have to start pausing the video a good bit and talking.
Majorly exploiting the working class, making people work very long hours in terrible conditions, yet despite this live in dire poverty.
Okay. Capitalism is forcing people to work really long hours for nothing, and they're still in poverty. Okay. Ugh. Okay, so capitalism is forcing them to do that, but I have no clue what I'm saying. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why you're watching this. I mean, seriously, you know, I'm not very smart, obviously. I'm really not cut out to do these types of videos, but let's continue.
Particularly in the third world, where people are starving.
Capitalism makes people starve. You know, it's not like, you know what? That's way too easy. I'm not even gonna go there. You know what I'm saying here. Yeah, but, you get it. You get what I'm saying here. Capitalism is the one that makes people starve. Whenever I think of starving people, I definitely think of capitalism. It's definitely what I think. Let's continue.
But also in the first world, where people, although they have some extra wealth due to their
Okay. I live in the first world. Am I well off? No. Am I in poverty? No. Am I starving? No. But still, I'm not... We just still live paycheck to paycheck. But that's not capitalism's fault. That's my family and I's poor choices' fault, not capitalism's fault. And it's the government's fault, not capitalism's fault. Again, a lot of things that you blame on capitalism is the government's fault. If there was no government, we wouldn't have these problems.
efforts of imperialism, they are still having to work extremely hard.
Again,
yet.
imperialism. I am anti-imperialist. I'm anti-government. So, and pretty much all, not all capitalists, but capitalism, you know, like full 100% capitalism, you can't have a government. Because full 100% capitalism would be a 100% free market. And to have a free market, you can't have a government because all the government just exists to infringe on the free market. Yeah.
Are still living in poverty. It is also destroying the planet. Capitalism is a profit-hungry system, and anything that doesn't make profit is seen as not useful and not done, such as saving the planet and introducing.
Okay. Here's the thing. A lot of other anarcho-capitalists and libertarians, like myself, are very skeptical when it comes to climate change. But that's from back when I was back when, obviously, when I say back when, I mean like a year and a half ago, before I discovered anarcho-capitalism or libertarianism or whatever. That's one of the things I carried over from me. I used to believe in universal health care. Can you believe that one? But one thing I did bring with me is I still think climate change is a thing, but the thing is, capitalism, it's the government's fault, again, for the whole planet destroying thing, because the government is the one giving subsidies and all this, and the ones that are keeping coal in power, like Trump. Trump is ended the war on coal, so, you know, the war on coal was bad for miners and miners' families. I live in a coal mining area, so, you know, it was bad for that, but it was good for the planet. And obviously government regulation is not good, but you know what, I'm getting off track here. What I'm trying to say is Trump, the government, is the one who is making coal have a comeback, which is not a good thing. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the government doing all this stuff, then we would have more solar power and wind power, you know? I mean, being in the mountains like myself, I still see, what are they called? Windmills. I couldn't even think. Wind turbines, there we go. I see those a good bit, but, you know, I still see a good amount of coal power plants, and I'm pretty sure I still get my power from a coal power plant.
Seeing more eco-friendly ways of production. It is also the cause for imperialism. The ruling class of the imperialist nations are constantly in need of more resources, and therefore those governments will invade third world nations, killing millions of innocent people.
Okay, here's another thing. This is another thing that's the government's fault, and not capitalism. I'm against invading innocent countries and killing innocent people. I'm honestly against killing any innocent people because of the whole non-aggression principle thing. You know, I don't even support killing people that are above me just to get ahead. I don't support that. Anyway. Yeah. I apologize for my chair, by the way. It's very loud. I sprayed it with WD-40. Did absolutely nothing, so, I basically have no area expertise about desk chairs besides spraying WD-40 on it and hoping it works. But it didn't, so, I don't know what to do. Cholula is very good, by the way. Yeah, here's the thing, Benji. I'm pretty sure, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that in Communist Manifesto, the end goal of communism is to not have a state. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong. So, if you are an anarchist, and we obviously have something in common, which is, hatred of the government. I don't want to kill everybody. I don't want to kill the people that are better than me. I'd rather work to become better than them instead of just killing them. But yeah. Let's see what else is almost over.
And because it is only focused on profit, and it is an unethical system.
See, this is the thing, Benji. If it's something that's focused on profit, that means that the people that are, what am I trying to say here? The people that are buying that, those are the people, the common people. The people paying for that product are the common people, right? So, if there was public service announcements saying, oh, this is bad, and then the government wasn't bailing out these failing companies or the fossil fuels industry, if the government wasn't, doing that, and people would just stop paying for fossil fuel research and fossil fuel this, and people would start funding the clean things like hydroelectric and geothermal and solar and wind and all that, and HART, which is obviously the worst one, because
it often leads
honestly, who wants the power of HART? That's just boring.
To things like the arms industry, the military-industrial complex, who start wars to sell weapons to both sides.
More of a point
That's
against
why
government
you can never have
than
peace
capitalism.
under capitalism, because it relies on imperialism, and it is an industry. It is just another war. Is just another industry for the bourgeoisie.
Yeah, see, that seems to be the big thing when I hear people talking about capitalism. Is most of their critiques against capitalism aren't against capitalism; they're against the government. And I'm against the government. Go to my Twitter, and I have the dumbest. You know what? I'm not going to tell you my Twitter name. I'll just give you my handle. It's Loves Steve, capital Loves, no space, capital Steve. I'll leave a link in the description. I basically tweet about a whole bunch of dumb stuff. Some politics, some not. What was it? 2 days ago, I post song lyrics. But yeah, that's that. And my pinned tweet is, I changed my name. If anyone's wondering, no, I'm not an ANCOM, I'm an ANCAP. Because, when people see the word anarchist, they think anarcho-communist. But yeah, there's that. Let's finish this up. We've got 2 minutes left.
Only that, but capitalism has outlived its historical usefulness.
And communism hasn't? Does communism even have historical usefulness other than killing a bunch of people? Or starving them to death? Or killing them because they didn't like communism?
At first, the world needed capitalism. It needed capitalism.
Let's be honest. Communism is so good that they needed to build a wall in Berlin to keep people in West Berlin from coming to East Berlin. That's how good communism is.
To end feudalism, to bring about...
Oh, wait. That wasn't how that story went at all, was it?
Industrialization, to improve...
Wait. Oh, that's right. That's why under Stalin you got killed if you spoke out against communism. Wait, no, that wasn't a thing, was it? I'm just making stuff up now, aren't I? Because, you know, communism is so good that, you know, it can just handle criticisms instead of having to kill them or send them to a prison camp in Siberia.
The living standard of the working people to change the...
Yes, living standards under communism are the best, aren't they? No. You can't honestly think that living standards under communism were good, can you? Yeah, standing in line for food all day sounds like good living standards to me.
The ruling class from the feudal lords and the aristocrats.
And then when you start complaining about having to stand in line for food, you get shot or sent to a prison camp.
To the industrial bourgeoisie. This was something that was necessary. But capitalism has done that now. It has played its historical role. And now it is time for the next stage in history. Socialism, and eventually communism.
You know what? If communism does ever take hold, I hope I'm long gone by then. Because, as my friend Liberty Prime once said, better dead than red. You know, that was honestly a half joke. I'd kill myself before I'd live under communism. I'm not exaggerating there, I honestly would.
Marxism Leninism has been successful at defeating capitalism and building communism. Just look at what it did in the USSR.
Oh yeah. Because the USSR ended very well, as I remember.
Guided by Marxism Leninism, they turned the country from a semi-feudal nation into a modern industrialized state that got the first person in space, defeated the Nazis.
That is something I'll agree with. The USSR had some very nice accomplishments, including this bad boy right here. Do you know what the USSR also didn't have? They didn't have safety standards. Long after, I'm going to use this bad boy right here as an example. You probably don't know what I'm talking about because you probably aren't autistic like me. And you probably don't collect gas masks like an autist like me. But yeah, this bad boy was manufactured in 1987. This is a GP5 filter. Now, it was somewhere in the 60s that NATO stopped using asbestos. You know, asbestos, I think everyone knows what asbestos is. You know, it gets in your lungs and causes mesothelioma. And, you know, it's or asbestosis. You know, it's generally not a very good thing. It's a fibrous mineral that is mined from the ground, used for thousands of years for insulation purposes. But since World War I, they found out it's very good for particle filters for a gas mask. And in the World Wars, not really World War I, but World War II, I'm sorry, I'm sniffling a lot. It's the hot sauce. Everyone found that asbestos is very good for particle filters in a gas mask, which is this bit right here. This bit is the particle filter. This is the charcoal layer, and then a particle filter again right here. And because it could be woven together. Woven together into cotton or just by itself. And it's very good at being a particulate filter, is what I'm trying to say. But more and more time passed, and people found out, hey, this asbestos thing, it's good for insulation, but it's not too good for your lungs. And by the 60s, people had pretty much stopped using them in their gas mask filters, like the late 60s, early 70s. But the Soviet Union, nah, let's keep putting asbestos in these filters. You know, we know it causes cancer, but you know, let's put some of that in these bad boys. Now, honestly, back when they were manufactured, it would be completely safe, but because of how tightly it was wound. But still, it's not a safe thing. That's why I don't wear the GP5 with the filter on. If I was gonna wear it, I wouldn't put the filter on it because it's got asbestos in it. Not too much. And these ones, the coffee can filters have much more, but this still has something like 7% or something. You know, still something you don't want to be breathing in. You know, but that's another thing. You know, they didn't exactly care about safety because, you know, asbestos. I'm pretty sure the asbestos industry is actually still pretty big in Russia, come to think of it. I don't know if it's still as big, but I know it's a fairly big thing in Russia is asbestos. I know, I'm saying that very American. Everywhere else says it asbestos, I think. But over here we call it asbestos. There's no O at the end, we say it like there's an I at the end. Asbestos. Yeah. That's just that. I'm sorry. No, I just went on a rant about gas masks, but it kind of helped my point there.
Nazis and gave all of their citizens access to universal health care.
Okay, it's kind of stopped, but the fighting Nazis thing, yeah. The Red Army fought the Nazis, and so did the rest of the Allies, which weren't communist. And yeah, I do realize that the Red Army put in a lot of work against fighting the Nazis, but communism really doesn't have much to do with that. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, if the army was still the White Army was a thing, or whatever army, it probably still would have beat the Nazis, because Hitler was an absolute moron when it came to military strategy. Obviously, he was a moron when it came to a lot of things, but definitely when it came to military strategy, Hitler was not smart at all when it came to that. You know, obviously he wasn't very smart. You know what? I'm not, Hitler was stupid. That's what I'm trying to say here. What is that? I don't know what that is. It's probably like a little spider or something. I have honestly no clue what that is. I'm wearing my glasses and I can't even tell what it is. Anyway, yeah. I think you're
housing and education. It's a very similar story in China. It's a very similar story in Cuba.
Oh, yeah. Universal health care. Forcing doctors to treat patients and, all that fun stuff.
Vietnam and Laos, in Mozambique and Burkina Faso, in Eastern Europe, and many other countries. Marxism Leninism is the key to establishing a world that is more peaceful, more prosperous, and more just.
Yeah, Marxism Leninism. It's not like anarcho-capitalism. We have the non-aggression principle where you can't hurt anybody unless you're defending yourself. But obviously Marxism Leninism is more peaceful than capitalism, because you get to kill all the people that are better than you. So that's a plus. This video is gonna take forever to upload. Yeah, the other video is probably gonna get uploaded first, by the way. So go check that out. I'm gonna probably say something like, why I as a gay don't like Pride Month, probably something like that. Because I really don't. I think Pride Month is stupid. But if you want to know why I think Pride Month is stupid, go check that out. Yeah, and if you want to watch me singing Dixie, which I don't know why you would, because I'm horrible at singing, go look at my main channel. I have a bunch of other cancer on there, like me playing a gay furry game. It's safe for work, by the way. It is safe for work because it's on Steam. There is a non-safe for work version, but I haven't played it because I'm playing the Steam version, which is safe for work. Go check that out. That clouded leopard is pretty hot. That sounded really weird. That sounded a lot weirder than I wanted it to. But yeah, I'm gonna leave. Obviously this original video will be in the description, and my Twitter will be in the description, my main channel will be in the description, and all that fun stuff. Why do I have Audacity open? I have no clue. Yeah. Discord, what's going on in Discord? Absolutely nothing. None of my friends are online. Actually, no. Yeah, none of them. Yeah, so that's been that. See you guys next time. Bye.